Welcome to Sell with Soul, the podcast that removes every outdated sales rule and replaces it with something powerful, magnetic and real. I'm Tina O'Hagan, and after more than 35 years in international sales and leadership, I've learned that selling isn't about pressure or persuasion, it's about people, purpose and genuine connection. If you're ready to sell differently and win differently, you're in the right place. Hello and welcome back to Sell with Soul, the podcast where we bring heart, honesty and authenticity back into selling. Today we're going to look at mindset in sales, busting the myths and real connection. I'm Tina O'Hagan, and if you've ever felt uncomfortable about selling or maybe struggled with that inner voice that says, I don't want to be pushy, this episode is for you. Because mindset shapes everything in sales. In fact, mindset is what drives your confidence, your connection, and your success. And today I want to bust a few of the biggest myths that keep so many good people, especially women, from selling with ease, grace, and authenticity. So let's talk about the first one. Selling is pushy. This was a very big one for me earlier on in my sales career. When I first started selling, I thought selling meant pushing people into something they didn't want. I'd seen these slick, overconfident salespeople who seemed to bulldoze through conversations, and I remember thinking, I don't want to be that person. I thought selling meant losing my integrity or having to become someone I wasn't. But here's what I've learned over time. Selling at its best is actually the opposite of pushy. It's about being curious. It's about listening. It's about helping someone make a good decision, one that's right for them. And one of the world's most respected sales experts, Brian Tracy, says it perfectly. Approach each customer with the idea of helping him or her solve a problem or achieve a goal, not of selling a product or service. That line really resonated with me because it captured what I started to discover through experience, that true selling isn't about persuading, it's about serving. It's about showing up with empathy, asking good questions and genuinely caring about the outcome for the person in front of you. Once I reframed selling as helping, everything changed. The pressure came off, my conversations became real, natural and much more human. And from that, I developed my own belief system around selling. Selling is simply a conversation with a purpose. A purpose to serve, to listen, and to help someone move closer to what they want or need. When you approach selling like this with heart and intention, the fear of being pushy disappears. Because you're not trying to get something from someone, you're trying to give something valuable. That's what I call selling with soul. And now let's talk about the second myth. Connection is just small talk. This one always makes me smile because people often think connection means chatting about the weather or complimenting somebody's shoes. But real connection goes so much deeper. It's about creating trust. It's about being present. It's about making someone feel safe enough to be honest with you about their challenges, their fears, and what they really want to achieve. And connection just doesn't stop when the deal is done. It's something you nurture by checking in, remembering details, showing care long after the sale. I've had clients come back to me years later, not because of the product, but because they remembered how I made them feel. That's the power of connection. As women, many of us have a natural gift for empathy and relationship building, and that's not a weakness, that is a superpower. We don't need to toughen up to sell, we just need to show up, be real, honest, and have a genuine desire to help. Because when you sell with soul, you just don't chase relationships, you create them. And those relationships become the foundation of everything else in business. Let's go on to myth 3. You need to have all the answers. This one has tripped me up for years. I used to think I couldn't walk into a sales meeting unless I knew absolutely everything, every technical detail, every possible objection. Especially in industries where I was often the only woman in the room, I felt I had to prove I was good enough to be there. But over time, I realised that confidence doesn't come from knowing it all. It comes from being comfortable saying, "That's a great question, let me find out and come back to you." That sentence changed everything for me. It's honest, it's professional, and it shows confidence and integrity. Clients just don't need you to know everything. They need to know they can trust you. And authenticity builds that trust far faster than pretending ever will. Now we come to the fourth myth. Asking for the order's awkward. Now this one's a biggie. You've had a great chat, the client's interested, everything's pointing to yes, and then that little voice kicks in inside your head saying, "Don't ask, you'll sound pushy." I remember one time in a meeting in Ireland with a large hospitality group I was dealing with at the time. I'd done all the work, presented a fantastic proposal, and everything felt right, but I still was afraid, I still hesitated. Then I caught myself on and thought, no, you've listened, you've understood, you've given real value, you've earned the right to ask. So I smiled and said, "Shall we go ahead and get started?" And he said, "Yes, I was wondering when you were going to ask." That moment was such a big lesson for me because people expect you to ask. It's part of the rhythm of sales. It's not pushy, it's professional. If you've built trust and connection, asking for the order simply feels like the natural next step. And if they say no, that's okay too. It's just information, not rejection. Because when you sell with integrity, there's no fear in asking, only clarity. And we come to the fifth and the last myth. Mindset doesn't matter as much as skill. Well, here's the truth. Mindset is everything. I can teach anyone the mechanics of selling, how to structure a call, handle objections, or present with confidence. But if your mindset is filled with doubt or fear, you'll hold back every single time. Mindset is the foundation everything else sits on. It's that inner belief that says, "I belong in this conversation. I'm here to help, not to hustle. My time and expertise have real value." When your mindset is grounded in purpose and authenticity, selling flows naturally. You stop trying to prove yourself and start showing up to serve others. That's when you truly start to sell with soul. Some closing thoughts. So to wrap up today, remember this. Selling isn't pushy, it's a purposeful conversation. Connection isn't small talk, it's the foundation of trust. You don't need to know it all, just be honest and authentic. Asking for the order is professional, not pushy. And your mindset, that quiet, confident belief in yourself, is everything. When you lead with service, empathy, and purpose, you stop doing sales and start being someone people genuinely want to buy from.